Today, we're going over 9 wilderness survival skills every outdoorsman should know. Be sure to stay until the end of the video because I'm sure you'll learn something new. Alright, what's up everybody? My name is Jack Billing, CEO and founder of Shedknives. And like I said, today we're going into the 9 things every outdoorsman should know for wilderness survival, the top 9 skills that I recommend. Alright, now before I get into that, I just want to let you know that this is coming directly from the most recent Shedknives blog number 43. If you didn't know, Shedknives does have a blog. It comes out every other day. It alternates with the morning email at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you like to read, if you like knife knowledge, resources, information, all that stuff, definitely check that out. Alright, so let's get into it with point number 1. Point number 1 is shelter building, and prioritize shelter building. You need to know how to build a shelter. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what your resources are that you have available. You need to know how to do that. For example, one of my favorite shelters to build is a hut, or kind of like a teepee pretty much. Just putting a bunch of tall sticks together and then lining that with brush. That's one of the easiest ones for me to make. I enjoy making them, and I also enjoy spending the night in them. I've done several wilderness survival courses where you have to build your shelter, you bring no more than 1 or 2 items, and then you're set loose pretty much for the day or for the 2 days, and that's what you do. So I know what I'm talking about. I love doing this stuff. So you gotta know what shelter to build, and at least just know how to build multiple shelters. Number 2, you gotta know fire making. Yes, you can have a shelter, that's great, but you also have to know how to build a fire. You gotta know how to build a fire with a lighter and lighter fluid, and you also have to know how to do it with nothing, with just wood you find in the outdoors. You gotta know both, okay? We can't just sit here and rely on the lighter fluid and on the lighters. We can't just sit there and rely on that. We have to know those primitive skills. Taking a bow drill, for example, using a bow drill, for example, stuff like that, okay? You need to know how to do that. You need to know how to build a shelter. Number 3, find safe drinking water. This is very important. You can have the best fire, you can have the best shelter, but if you don't have clean drinking water, well, you're not going to have it for very long. You can go several weeks without food, but if you don't have water, well, you'll only live a few days. So you better be drinking water, and it better be clean. So know how to do that. I have a few other videos, a few other blogs on how to find clean drinking water, so you can check that out. Put a few links down below for you to check out. Number 4, acquire basic first aid skills. I don't know the exact percentage, but I do know that the majority of first aid situations are done by yourself, and you're fixing yourself. You generally don't have a buddy to help you, especially in the outdoors. Now, buddy system is great. It's awesome having someone there to help out, but sometimes you get stuck, especially if you two get split up. Well, probably gonna have to fix yourself. So a few things to know. Know how to do a splint, know how to stop bleeding, know basic things like that. Always elevate any wounds that have to do with bleeding. You need to stop the bleed as fast as possible. Number 5, navigation and orienteering. Another thing you gotta know is where you're going. Have a destination in mind. Go point A to point B. If you want to go exploring, that's great, but have a general idea of what you're exploring and where you're headed. Having a map of the right area is very important, so get into that as well. Number 6, learn how to signal for help. You might be the only one or the only two, or the only three, however many people are in your group. You don't have to be the only people in your area that you see. But guess what? There might be people around you that you don't see. So you can utilize things like a whistle, like smoke signals with a fire, putting evergreen leaves on that fire. It gets very smoky. Stuff like that. Using sound, banging metal together, banging logs on a tree, stuff like that. But whistles work so good. So good, they really get your attention. They really get other people's attention because that's what we're going for. So basic signaling for help. Get to know some of those things. Number 7, food sourcing and identification of food sources. So like plants, understand what is a raspberry and what is a berry that will kill you. Stuff like that, all right? Know your blueberries, know different edible plants, know different leaves, roots, stuff like that. That's very important to know. Also, I'm considering doing a video for each one of these points. I know I've already done a few, but I thought, well, there's 9 points. This is important information. I can't go into each point in super detail unless you wanted to watch a 5-hour video, which if you do, hey, let me know. Maybe that's something we need to get into. But I thought about doing just individual videos to break down each point. But in this top 9, just give you the top 9 things that I recommend, and then you take it from there. All right, well, let's move on to number 8, which is stay calm, stay positive. Mindset is everything. You can have the best supply. You could be living in an RV in the middle of nowhere, and you have all your food, and you have everything ready to go. If you have a weak mindset, doesn't matter how good you're living, you're probably gonna have a terrible time, and it's because of your mindset. Now, you could be in the worst situation possible. You have no shelter, no fire, no clean drinking water, but if you have a great mindset, boom, that's okay. We have a few problems, boom, we'll fix it, no problem. That is what you want to do. You need to have a strong mindset. You need to have a positive mindset, not just in a survival situation, but start doing that in your day-to-day life because it will carry over. Don't expect for you to be in a survival situation and all of a sudden your mindset gets really positive. Well, you've been going to your job, you've been going home, you've been doing all these tasks, you've been making dinner, and your mindset is horrible. Don't expect to go into the woods, get in a survival situation that your life depends on, and all of a sudden you're happy. It's probably not going to happen. Survival situations amplify your skills, and they also amplify your weaknesses. So if I'm really good at shelter building, pow, it's going to click during a survival situation. But if I get really nervous and really tense and I don't know what to do, survival situation is going to bring that weakness out more than ever. So you got to get your mind straight. You got to stay positive. Last thing here. Number 9, carry essential gear. Don't worry about the nonsense. Don't worry about the other stuff. Okay, carry the essentials. What are some of the essentials, you might be wondering? Carry a water bottle or a water pouch in your backpack, like the thing with the little straw. Carry something to hold water. You need flint and steel or a ferro rod and a knife. You need a knife, specifically a fixed blade. A folder will only get you so far. That brings me into Shed Knives. Shed Knives has the best fixed blades available for the money. Alright, all 100% USA made knives, all 100% USA materials. Put a few photos up on the screen for you to check out. And guess what? They're all under $200. You can check them out, shedknives.com. So when you go to shedknives.com, take a look. If you have any questions, send me a message. I'd be happy to get back to you. A few other items are going to be additional food. Sure, you can go find your own food in the outdoors, but you got to get started. So have a little bit of food. MREs are great. Having a first aid kit, basic first aid kit works just fine. Having a sturdy backpack too is great. That's a great thing because you can have the best gear, but if your backpack isn't good, you're really going to feel it. So those are just a few things. I'll give you one last one. Shoes. wear the right shoes, get the right hiking boots, get the right hiking shoes. This is very important if you're going to be traversing through the outdoors. Alright, so that brings me to the end of this video. If you found value in this video, hit the like button. If you support 100% USA knife companies, hit the subscribe, because that's exactly what Shed Knives is. If you like knife content and you know a fellow outdoorsman or fellow knife enthusiast who may find value in this video, hey, hit the share button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Once again, check out shedknives.com. I'll put it up on the screen and in the description as well for you to check out. I'd greatly appreciate it if you took the time to check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.